Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Work to Create, where 1 week after I come out with a video, I explain to you guys what work I put into it, tips, tricks, and links, all to help you guys become better content creators. My home, your home, our home, part 1. How did I make that video? Well, here we go. So first off, I wanted to tell a story, and basically how I did that was through my audio and my visuals. And so you could see that I was packing my suitcase, and then I explained to you guys exactly why I was packing my suitcase, where I was going, and when I was going to leave. And so I kind of got the ball rolling. Usually when there's a beginning, there's going to be a middle and an end. And you'll see as the video progresses, that is exactly what happens. It's really just getting people's attention, grabbing their attention and saying, you know, like this is what's going on, this is what's going to happen. Like, if you keep watching, you're gonna find out what happens, you know. So when you're making videos, strive to put together a story. The videos that do have more of a story, and it's not just like random clips that are being, you know, put together, the videos that have a story generally do way better because the audience is able to engage and find meaning in what's going on. So the second thing I did to make my video what it was is I used lots of time lapses. I think I used 3 or 4, which you can see now. And basically, my reason for using time lapses is because time lapses are a very visually appealing way to show large amounts of time going by. It also shows your audience how committed you are to your content, and you know, bringing them your creativity. It's a major commitment to, I mean, have your camera rolling for upwards of, you know, any longer than an hour. It's, you know, you have to put in that work. And so I think that's very important. I think time lapses are a must in almost any film, whether it's, you know, cinematic or travel. I mean, especially travel. And so how did I make my time lapses? Well, I actually used a setting in my camera to use mine, but there is a much better way to do it if you're willing to put in a little bit extra editing. Peter McKinnon has an amazing tutorial on how to set up your camera and then go into like Lightroom and edit, and it's super good, and I use it, and the time lapses turn out incredible. So definitely go check that out. The link will be down below. So yeah, time lapses, use them. So the third thing I want to go over from my last video is my editing techniques. Now obviously we already talked about jump cuts in my last work to create video. So I want to spend time on the other editing techniques. So like speed ramps and slow motion. These will literally be your bread and butter when it comes to editing. I promise you, like speed ramps and then going into slow motion is so visually appealing, and so many people enjoy that. And it's also, it gives your film a super cinematic look. So I'm not gonna explain to you guys like exactly how I did it. Instead, I'm gonna provide another link to another tutorial, and this one is by Ben Real vs. World. Ben Haggerty, amazing guy, really good editor, has some incredible stuff, has worked with so many big names. He actually created this like super cool Facebook group called BWNC, Black with No Cream. It's basically content creators from all over the world in one place, asking each other questions, learning from each other, getting their videos critiqued, getting their photography critiqued, music artists, dance artists, it doesn't matter. If you're a content creator, you can be in the group, and it's dope. So I will have the link to his tutorial on speed ramps in the description, and you guys should definitely check it out because it will increase the production value of your films by 1,000, I promise you. So another editing technique that I used was blending modes and opacity, and I think if you understand them, you can really use them to your advantage, and they can really enhance your videos. So for example, there was a part in the video where I thought, you know, that a blending mode would be super cool here, and so I used it. And you know, you guys are probably asking, well, what blending mode did I use? Because there's a ton of them, and I actually used screen. Now the blending mode screen is actually, it takes away all of the dark areas of a clip, of the clip that you apply it to. So whatever clip you have underneath or above it, it'll show through, and it creates a really cool effect like you saw in my previous video. So definitely use those. And opacity is how I made those two clips, kind of like how I joined them together, but like without any hard edges. You know, it's not like one was popping up and then the other one was popping up. So one started at 0 and went to 100, and the other one started at 100 and went to 0 opacity, and that just makes everything so much more visually appealing, so much more smooth as you know, as it's being watched. So the last two editing techniques that I used were light flares and sound effects. So light flares I use mainly as transitions. So what I did was I applied the blending mode screen to my lens flares to get rid of any dark colors, and so then I only have these bright yellows and bright kind of amber colored effects going on, so that it seems like there's like the sun is washing out the screen or something, and then all of a sudden another clip is underneath it, and just kind of messing with opacity and other things like that, and blending modes to just kind of see what looks best. So I use those light flares on a few transitions, not too many. You don't want to overdo it, just always be aware of that. And so the next editing technique is sound effects. So with any speed ramp or any like special transition, or anytime there was, you know, a lot of movement, I always used a sound effect, because a sound effect, you know, you see motion and you expect to hear like an additional sound. And if you play any of your videos without any sound effects and then add sound effects and play it again, it sounds so much more appealing to your ears, and people are really attracted to that. It just makes your film so much easier to watch, and I think that's super important. It's always thinking about your audience and what is best for them and what they will enjoy most. I think that's super important. And so you're probably wondering where I got these lens flares and the sound effects. Well, so my boy Josh from Olufemi Tutorials, it's kind of hard to say, on YouTube, he actually has his own light flare pack. I think he has a couple of them, and his own sound pack, like sound effects pack. Super dope stuff. Like, he created it from scratch and he sells it on luxuryleaks.com. The sound pack is a bit pricey, but the lens flares are super cheap. Definitely worth the money. High quality. So I will include the link to his website and his YouTube channel in the description, because you guys should definitely check him out. He's got a lot of knowledge to offer, and you can learn a lot from him. And yeah, like, I've learned a ton from him, so definitely go check him out. Everything will be in the description. So guys, that's how I made my last video. A summary of everything we talked about will be in the description, along with links to all the tutorials and websites that I learned from and used to make my last video. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you again for supporting me. It means the world. I'll see you guys for part 2, my home, your home, our home. Let's go. That's a wrap.